gonna get a little bit more personal with you guys. You feel me? Woo! Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Briana. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet me. It was a surprise that I gave you guys a video today, wasn't it? Yes, it was, but not really. Because I actually asked on Instagram if people wanted to see 2 videos this week because I had nothing to do. So here is the first video. This look will be on my channel on Sunday, so stay tuned for that one. So today I decided to do a little tips video for you. Oh! So basically, I just did my brow routine on last Sunday. So today I decided to do a brow tips video. If you want to see how I did my brows, go ahead and go on back there after this video though. I feel like this should have been first. So I have my book right here. I wrote out all of my little tips and, you know, things for you guys in this book. So I'm gonna go ahead and start telling you guys all of my tips or whatever, so we can just get through this video very quickly. Shall we? We shall. So the first tip is to make sure your brows are lined up in 3 different sections, okay? Section number 1, line up this part with the front of your brow, okay? Your brow should at least start to fade up here. It doesn't have to be a box right here, okay? It doesn't. So basically your brow can just begin right here. As you can see, mine kind of begins a little over because I faded out a lot in the beginning. As long as it is over this part, because a lot of people line their brow, the front of their brow, with the end of their nose, which will just look weird. So I line it up right here, starting at, I don't know what this point of the nose is called, but you know what it's called, okay? So just line it up, baby girl, baby boy, boo, line it up. So this is the first section, and then you're gonna tilt it. Oh. And it should be it should be diagonal. This is where your arch should begin. Okay. Okay, all right. So this is where your arch should begin. And then the ending should be lined up with the ending of your eye, the corner of your eye, okay? Write this down, honey. We're gonna go over it again, okay? Cool, great, fantastic. Start with, just start here, okay? And then curve. Your arch should be here, diagonal from your nostril. And the end should line up with the end of your eye, okay? Next, spoolie brushes. So my tips for spoolie brushes, I never use the ones on the ends of my brushes. They don't work for me. They don't, you know, give me the brow that I want. It's not them, it's my brow hairs. So my brow hairs are very thick, kind of coarse, kind of curly. So I like to use the MAC spoolie. This is not actually like the MAC spoolie, but I got it off the counter at MAC. Y'all sleeping on where y'all find stuff because I know. The bristles are very close together and they're very hard. So it's easy to comb out my brow hairs and they get them in the perfect position that I want them in. So if you have thicker, coarse brows, I would suggest a spoolie with tighter bristles, closer bristles and harder bristles. If you have finer brow hairs, meaning like You can just like smooth them over or whatever, things like that. You can use a softer spoolie like this one from BH Cosmetics. A lot of people don't really see the difference, but I noticed that every time I do my brow with a different spoolie, they don't turn out as good as my brows with this spoolie right here. So if I ever use this spoolie to brush out my brow hairs from beginning, it's just not gonna be as good as this one. It's like finding a brush for your head, right? You know how you get them hard brushes and your mom used to like brush your hair back and it would scratch your forehead? That's what your spoolie has to be like for your eyebrows if your eyebrow hairs are as coarse as your head hairs. If your eyebrow hairs are as smooth as fine as your head hairs, and you can use that soft brush with a little bit of gel and just, okay, then you can go ahead and use the, you know, softer spoolie. It's just a recommendation. You don't really have to do it, but it's my suggestion. It makes a difference. It does. Next, brow gels. I'm not gonna lie. When I was in middle school, I had like thick brows and I got them done like twice max, okay? And I got in trouble. So what I used to do to keep my hairs in place after I couldn't get them waxed anymore, I used to mix Eco Styler with edge control, like rub it on my fingers and then rub it up and down my spoolie and basically make my own brow gel. You know, gotta find a way when you can't buy makeup products. And it worked for a very long time. I did it up to my 10th grade year of high school. So there's a secret. You're welcome. Brow gels generally just keep the hairs in place, keep them wherever you want them to go. Ooh, honey. Oh, I had to flick that one back up. I don't know what she was doing. She was getting out of. Oh, sis was stay in your lane. Yeah, brow gels are just to keep the hairs in place. You can really use a clear mascara and get away with it, or you can use an actual brow gel and get away with it, or you can do what I did and mix Eco Styler and edge control on your fingers and rub them up and down your spoolie. Now, this is the fun part. I'm gonna explain the differences between powder, pencil, pomade. The 3 P's of the brows: powder, pencil, pomade. Okay? Cool. So, I would recommend powder for people who just need to fill in certain areas. If your brows are already super thick and there's no gaps, there's no like, if your brows look like mine, but then you got like some sparse areas, just use a powder, or you can use a pencil, honestly. But I would suggest a powder for people who have brows like that. Or if you want a natural looking filled in brow and you just have sparse areas and your eyebrows are just really thin but really fine, with very fine hairs, you can also use a powder. If you want natural looking brows, definitely use a pencil. You can like get a thin tip pencil and draw little hairs, or you can get a thicker tip pencil and just draw your whole brow on, whatever you want. A lot of people have been using like micro pencils to draw little hairs in the front and then do the rest of their brow with like a powder or a pomade. I still use a pencil to do the ending of my brow because it is missing, and on natural days I just use the pencil and then I use the brow gel just to brush my hairs up so it can look like, you know, all the hairs are there. I will recommend some eyebrow pencils for you guys. First, the NYX Auto eyebrow pencil. I love this eyebrow pencil. I've been using it for the past 2 years. Not this one, but I've been getting them repeatedly for the past 2 years. Another great eyebrow pencil is the Sephora eyebrow pencil. Also the Anastasia eyebrow pencil, and those are the ones that I've seen in action and used. Those are very good eyebrow pencils. Last but not least, pomades. So I love my pomade. The Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade and this Kat Von D pomade have been the only 2 that I've used. I've also used the NYX eyebrow pomade. I've used it on my friend and they turned out so beautiful. So those are 3 pomades that I do recommend. I will leave the links down below for you. Pomades are basically just for people, you can have endless brows, but if your brows are sparse, girl, you're gonna want a pomade, because pomades show up so dark and they're there. Like, this is in dark brown, and so is my Kat Von D pomade. They're both in dark brown. Meanwhile, this is my dark brow and the pencil is my lighter brow. So again, the pencil is for a natural look. The pomade is for I'm beating my face today type look. And pow, okay? So if you want to just make your eyebrows appear thicker, fuller, or if you want to exaggerate some areas, a pomade is definitely for you. So let's talk about the beginning of your brow. So basically what you're not supposed to do, don't start filling in your brows right here. Don't do that. Don't start at the beginning of your brow. No, okay? No. Your eyebrow naturally does not start as a box. It's quite faded in the front and thicker down the end. At least for me and most of the people that I've seen. So it is best to start your brows at the ending. So with my last video, my eyebrow routine, I imagine it to be a rectangle, and I start at the corner of that rectangle, both corners of the rectangles, to draw the end of my brow. That is how I start my brow, and then I work my way forward. By the time I get to the front, it is faded. And when you have a faded brow, it is a more natural looking brow. I mean, clearly these aren't realistic. These are, I mean, they're realistic, but these aren't mine. But when you see the front start like this, that is a magical, lovely brow. Now you can line the end, you can line the bottom of the brow just to make sure everything is crispy and lined up, but don't do a harsh line like up, 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 and then fill it out, because it just looks bad. A boxy brow is not a beautiful brow. I'm sorry. Let's move on, shall we? Yes. So for concealer, I would recommend doing a concealer shade under your brow that is 1 to 2 lighter shades than your skin tone, your foundation color or whatever. And for the top of your brow, I would recommend using your foundation, okay? Or your foundation color. When you do a concealer line under your brow when you're cleaning them up, you don't want it to be too light. It just looks very dramatic and very weird. And you especially do not want to make it too light on the top either, because that is just no. And especially if you're the type of person who doesn't wear foundation, doesn't need it, you can't do that light and then light. It's not gonna work. So get a concealer that is 1 to 2 shades lighter than your skin tone for under your brow, and a foundation color that or a color that is the same as your skin tone or foundation as the top of your brow, okay? It works, trust me, okay? That's why I get so many compliments. So for brushes, I recommend these babies, okay? Now these are your simple brow brushes. You have your angled brow brush. This one is from Benefit. It has a spoolie on the end. Again, I don't use it. But if you would like to use the spoolie on the end, it is a softer bristle brush, so it should work fine. But this one is from Benefit, and it has the angled tip. This generally works for a lot of people who are starting out with brows, because you can get the curves and crevices and things. I'm being sneaky. You can get the curves and crevices and everything with the angle of the brush. Straight edge brush I've seen being used for the brows. A lot of, like, basically a straight brow. I've seen people with straight brows just use a straight brush. That also works. This also works for concealer under the brow, so you can just line it up easier. The turn is where it gets you, but you know, it works. And a lot of people also just use a regular concealer brush, which works just the same. easier on the curve if you have an arch, and easier to drag down. And last but not least, of course, your spoolie. And to blend the colors, to blend the concealers, you can continue to use the concealer brush, or you can switch to a flat foundation brush and just blend everything out on the top and even on the bottom down to your lid. Okay, cool. That is the end of my session. Where's my teacher glasses? Did you learn something? I think you did. That's the end of this lecture, this brow lecture. If you are a beginner, honestly, take your time, just keep practicing, and you will get there. I promise you. It took me a long time to figure these brows out, and I finally got them to a place that I enjoy, and a place that other people enjoy so much that they ask me how I do them. So, you know, I'm here to teach, here to help. Practice makes perfect. Honestly, just keep trying. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. Like the video, comment, subscribe, like, comment, subscribe. And hopefully, if you subscribe, I will see you guys very soon. Oh, no, I'll see you guys on Sunday. Bye.